wives signed loan papers for their husbands. Both husbands defaulted. But when the bank file opened, their lives looked completely different. One woman discovered her name was tied to both the loan and the asset. The other discovered something even scarier. Her name was tied to the risk, but not to the ownership, not to the control, not to the decisions. The difference was not love, not trust, not even the loan amount. It was one word written next to her name. Many wives have no idea which word is sitting next to their name right now, and they find out on the worst possible day. So, today I am going to tell you what those two words are, what each one really does to you, and by the end, which one can quietly expose you the most. Stay with me because this is the kind of thing nobody explains until it's already too late. Here's what happened at the bank counter again and again. A husband is taking a loan. The firm needs a second name, and he turns to his wife and says those three familiar words: just sign here. She signs out of trust, out of love, the way most of us would have done. But what almost no one stops to ask is, what am I actually signing as? Because there are two completely different roles she could be agreeing to. Two words. They sound like cousins. They are actually opposites. One word is co-borrower. The other word is guarantor. Most people think these are the same thing. Two ways of saying I am helping with the loan. They are not the same. And the gap between them can be the difference between manageable risk and life-changing exposure. So which one is the trap? Hold that question because the answer surprises almost everyone. Let me break down what each word actually means, not in legal language, just in plain truth. 1. A co borrower doesn't just help with the loan, a co borrower becomes one of the borrowers. When you sign as a co borrower, you are not standing beside the borrower. You are a borrower equally, fully from the very first minute. The repayment is as much yours as theirs. Even if every rupee, every dollar, every dirham of it was spent by the other person, even if you never saw a single coin of it. You didn't co-sign a favor, you co-signed a debt with your own name on it. And please understand this next part clearly because it's where so many women get caught. Loan papers and ownership papers are not the same thing. Your name on the loan can make you responsible for paying it back, but your name on the asset papers, the property title, the sale deed, the ownership document is what decides whether you actually own what the loan is paid for. Many women check only one and completely miss the other. So, a co borrower owns the debt from day one, but whether she owns the asset depends entirely on whose name is on the ownership papers. You must check both the loan paper and the asset paper. And here's where people relax and think, okay, then I'll just be a guarantor. Instead, that's safer. That's exactly the mistake. 2. A guarantor feels like a witness until the day they become the target. When you sign as a guarantor, it feels lighter, like a formality, like you are just vouching for someone. I am only the backup, you tell yourself. It will never come to me. But here is the quiet danger. If the borrower defaults, then depending on what you signed and the terms of guarantee, the bank may be able to demand repayment from you. And here's the cruel asymmetry. As a guarantor, you carry the risk of the loan, but you hold none of the control, none of the ownership. You can't make the decisions, you can't see the account. You often don't even know there's a problem until the demand lands at your door. A co-borrower at least has a name on the debt they may have a stake in. A guarantor can end up carrying only the loss. 3. The bank may not explain this the way you emotionally need to hear it because on paper the role is already written. This is the part that used to make me ache sitting on my side of that desk. The form had the word on it. She signed under the word, and the bank may not explain it the way a wife emotionally needs to hear it, because on paper, the role is already there. Once you sign, the system reads the word, not your understanding of it, not your good intentions, not the fact that nobody walked you through it. A bank doesn't process your love, it processes your signature and the role printed above it. 4. The amount on the loan was never the real risk. The word was. Everyone focuses on the number, how big is the loan, but the number isn't what decides your fate. The word is. The same amount of loan can leave you barely affected or completely exposed, depending entirely on which role you signed into. Two wives, same number on the page, opposite lives because they signed different words. So, which word was the trap? Most people guess it wrong. Let me give you the real answer. Before I answer, here's what you can actually do this week, and none of it requires a fight or a single coin. 1. Find out what you have already signed. If your name is on any loan in your household, dig out the papers, look for the word next to your name: co borrower, co applicant, joint borrower, or guarantor, surety. And please don't ignore words like co applicant or joint applicant. In many loan files, these can also create repayment responsibility depending on the document. You have a right to know which hat you are already wearing. Most women have genuinely never looked. 2. Before you ever sign again, ask one question out loud. Am I signing as a co borrower or as a guarantor? And what exactly does that make me responsible for? Ask the person at the desk to point to the line and do not sign until they do. 3. Read the role, not just the amount. Train yourself to look past the number and find the word. The number tells you the size, the word tells you the risk, the word matters more. 4. For anything significant, understand before you sign every single time. You are allowed to slow a signature down. You are allowed to take the paper home and read it. Anyone who pressures you to sign right now without reading is the exact person you should make wait. And remember, the precise rules differ from country to country. So, for anything large, get proper guidance for where you live. I am not here to give you financial or legal advice. I'm here to make sure you never sign a word you didn't understand and then meet that word for the first time on the day it takes something from you. So, two wives, one word, same defaulted loans but completely different exposure. Which word was the trap? Here is the honest answer. A co borrower owns the debt from day one, but whether she owns the asset depends on the ownership papers. A guarantor may not own the debt from day one, but if the borrower defaults, the risk can come to her, often without ownership, without control, and sometimes without her even knowing how bad the situation has become. That is why a guarantor can be the quieter, crueler trap. Not because co-borrower is safe, but because guarantor feels safe. It feels like formality until it isn't. But the real danger is not only co-borrower or guarantor. The real danger is signing any word you did not understand, because the bank does not process your trust. It processes your signature. The word next to your name is not a formality, it is a future. So read it before it reads you. Tell me honestly in the comments, did you know the difference before today? And go check, is there a loan out there with your name on it? And do you know which word you signed? I am CS Saloni Nagpal. I help women build their financial identity after marriage, not by taking anything away from anyone, but by making sure you never disappear inside your own life. I'll see you in the next one.